everyone, it has been a while. I hope you guys have missed me. I certainly have missed you all. In today's video, we're going to be doing a little deck profile. Finally managed to get the new Tenyi card, so it's long overdue. This is a pretty big deck size. I'll go over obviously how it all fits together and as for why I'm running such a big deck size. I kind of feel like I've been struggling with siding and siding strategies in the TCG, so hoping the extra room will give me more time and more options to side. I'm planning to side out this little engine right here, which I'll go over after I finish this, especially going second. But yeah, I'm hoping this will help me improve as a player with siding, because I don't really like to side out much of my Swordsoul Tenyi engine or even the Zing engine sometimes. I do have some of it in my side because I used to side in and out the Herald package, but we'll kind of see how all that goes in the end. But for right now, this is the deck list that I'm running, and we're gonna go through the card by card. Starting us off is Mo Yi. She's gonna be an easy 3 of. She's your best starter, and she's pretty much here as one of your strongest consistency tools. Works with most of the deck, all the Swordsoul cards, obviously, and all of your Worm cards. Get your basic level 8 and 10 synchro out from her alone. And then she draws you a card as well, which is just gonna help you dig into more resources. And followed by her is 2 of the Taya. This is just one of the strongest cards in the deck for your combos. Definitely pretty much the best combo tool that you go through the most often, I want to say. But yeah, he's pretty much great in a bunch of hands. His only weakness is that he requires a setup to use, but other than that, really good card. Definitely going to be a 2 of. Then next up is 3 of the Ecclesia. Just another really strong consistency tool. What she does is that gives you more bodies, not bodies, but she's more versions of Taya or Mo Yi in the deck. So she's just gonna help you see your chances of drawing Sword Souls more often. And then she's really good going second as well, since she can special summon herself for free if your opponent controls more monsters than you do. She's also a level 4 tuner, which can definitely come up for some Boxia plays. Then after that, we have Long One. You just really don't have to search this card out. That's why this is a 3 of. Any hand that has him is just gonna be able to improve your ability to do combos. But other than that, he's really good for burn damage, and that's really all it is. Definitely not a good starter like Mo Yi and Taya are. But after that, we have the Abyss Dragon Swordsoul. Yes, so we are running a field spell on the deck now. So since it's engine as well, we get to search it, and it's pretty fun. And then this is pretty much free for your inboards. You can send it off with Taya, you can send it off with Vessel. So it's gonna make your inboards have even more layers on top of it as well. And then you can also just maybe hard draw it sometimes, and your opponent will be playing a field spell in their deck, and then you can just hit to summon it out turn 0, banish one of their opponent's monsters. So really cool card. That's gonna wrap up our Swordsoul package. So moving on to our Tenyis, 3 of the Adara. This is a really good level 1 tuner. Then it also is going to help you manage your resources. You get to add back a banished wire monster. And that's really it. You don't really need 3 of these. 2 of these is pretty good right now. Yeah, 3 of these isn't as good as it used to be, since it was good if you had this in your hand and a normal summon, then you could just special summon this. And if your normal summon got stopped or negated, you would just go into Denlong and then go into 9 Pillars. And then that way you would end on some form of disruption. But I cut 9 Pillars, so I'm not really going to be doing that too often anymore. I'll probably keep it on the side for right now, but we'll see how that shakes out. I might cut it out entirely, to be honest. This is still really good with all your Swordsoul though. Just still being able to go into Denlong is a play, and it's really good with long run right now, helping you go into Yazi. So decently strong. It just has a really a lot of good combinations with most of the cards. It still works with the level 4 Tenyi, and it works with the Vishita as well. And then, of course, it works for Ashina for just going absolutely stupid in this deck. So definitely going to be a 3-up for right now. Following that up, our level 4 Tenyi of choice is, of course, Mapura. It protects your tokens, is really all it needs to do. If your opponent tries to target one of your tokens with a card effect, get to banish this and negate and destroy that card. So really, really good. This helps protect your Swordsoul tokens, and it helps protect your Sarasrara tokens as well. And since we're playing that now, this comes up pretty often, is Sarasrara protecting your ability from being targeted, and so your opponent has to just focus on getting rid of the token sometimes, and then this can help protect the token as well. So pretty good. Other than that, it's just a level 4 body, and it's a fire attribute, so it can help us make box deal with the Swordsoul token and still get 2 bounces. I would run Shtana, but I can't find my Shtana right now, and that's simply because Tenyis are pretty good right now, so going up on your Tenyi copies is not really a bad idea. Not Tenyi copies, but your Tenyi count in the main deck. But moving on, next up is Vishita. This is your best form of removal in the main deck. Really, really good going second, and that's pretty much all this card has relevancy-wise. You special summon it off of Ashina when you need to. Then for the best Tenyi in the deck, still Ashina. Nothing's gonna ever take that title away from this. This gives you access to all your other Tenyis. It pretty much has the best combinations with other cards in the deck. Good with Taya, good with Moyi, obviously, and Vish, Adara, Longwon, and the new Tenyi as well. You just, this in any hand usually goes pretty stupid. Usually is not how you say that word. Usually, my fault. I had to laugh on myself right quick. But yeah, definitely gonna be another strong 3-0 for us. Then after that is Tenyi Spirit Saruya. This card is super fun. I'm slowly falling in love with this card. Definitely the next big Tenyi after Ashina, but Ashina's still the GOAT. Ashina's still the GOAT. But yeah, it's a tuner, so it's really, really good for that. Then if you choose for a synchro, you get to special summon out one of your Tenyi links. So you either go Sarasrara to protect your inboard, or you just go into Shaman for even more extension. And she's also a pretty free special summon as well, since most of the time you're gonna have a Worm on your board, other than with Ecclesia. Yeah, you'll have a Worm on board most of the time, so she's gonna help you play through hand traps really, really well. And that's gonna wrap up our Tenyis. Now getting into the rest of the engine, we have our Zing / Yazimari engine in the deck. GL2, our level 2 tuner, Swani, level 4 body of choice, and it is a fire monster, so we get to do fire locks off of Chao Feng. And then Mare is just a broken extender. It gets you 4 bodies and gets you into synchro plays as well. So really, really strong setups off of that. Following that up is our last main deck Worm monster, Archnemesis Protoss. Floodgate on legs, board wipe a singular attribute, and then nobody can summon that attribute until the end of your opponent's turn. What is wrong with that dog? Okay, where was I? Floodgate on legs, I do believe we wrapped up everything I need to say about Protoss. Let's gonna wrap up our Worm monsters. So let's get into our spells and traps now. We have 3 of Emergence. This is just straight up the best card in the deck. Searches your Swordsoul. Then if you control a synchro monster, you get to search any Worm monster from your deck. So you just get to search Protoss most of the time. Team Engine is already pretty accessible. So yeah, definitely the best card in the deck. And after that, we have Sacred Summit. It's just kind of mandatory, in my opinion. Definitely helps a lot of combos work. And then if you just draw like a pure Swordsoul hand, you just kind of need this to OTK for like a second. So unless you just want to get into a grind game with your opponent, I definitely recommend drawing into this card. Not drawing into this card, but searching this card and being able to OTK that way. But otherwise, yeah, maybe don't need it. But it's really, really good for follow-up as well. So being able to reborn Taya from the graveyard is always good. Helps you go into Boxia, and then you can also bring back your Swordsoul. So Shijiao's free off of it. Qingying and Qijing are free off of it as well, and that's important because Qingying is your only form of non-target removal in the deck. So you really, really need Qingying if you do lose it. But it's gonna wrap up our Swordsoul spells. Now we have Blackout, of course, another mandatory card. This helps you play around hand traps. Then, so a solid piece of disruption as well, but mostly this just helps us get tokens when it is banished. And up to our Tenyi spells, we have a Vessel at 1, and then that can't be right. There we go. Circle at 2, my fault. Yeah, Vessel, definitely one of the best cards in the deck. This plus any Tenyi is just a full combo. It's always broken with that. And then it just being searchable now, it just feels like you're running more copies of it, so you don't really need more than one. And it's not like you need to resolve this more than once for dual most of the time. And then as far as we're still running 2 circle, even though it is searchable. 1, always good follow-up. You can banish it from the graveyard when controlling non-effect monsters such as Tenyi, so it's gonna help you dig through your deck faster. It's gonna help you survive the grind game. And then it just helps you play around hand traps and disruptions really, really well. So this helps you play around Imperm and Bayar going first, but then going second, your opponent will either try to remove your level 4 monsters, so like your normal summons, or they'll try to remove your tokens. And before, you don't mind losing the normal summon because you just tribute and search your level 4 Tenyi. But if they try to target your non-effect monster, you just kind of had to tribute to search and just hope you had enough follow-up in your hand, versus now you get to tribute your non-effect monster, your Swordsoul token, and you get to special summon out Tsuruya. So this is really, really good right now because Tsuruya being a level 4 tuner, it means you still get to go into your level 8 synchro play, and then you get 3 chains because synchro on summon, your Swordsoul synchro effect, and then you get to use Tsuruya effect as well. So this just helps you guarantee you get to play around that scenario really, really, really well. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna keep that at 2 for right now. Then for the new Tenyi spell, we have the field spell. I am running this at 2. 1, because you can side out one of these for the other Tenyi field spell, and you also just don't always want to have to search this. Sometimes you just want to make other level 8 synchros, so having not to have to search this every time is pretty good. Then it works with Abyss Swordsoul as well, so just having more copies of it is just pretty decent. And then once again, searches these on activation, so that means if this does resolve, it can help you play through hand traps as well. So pretty much always a good time to see this card in your hand. I don't necessarily think it's worth running 3 of it. It's not that good. It can get hand trapped, in which that case it's not the best card to just leave on your inboard, but it also does pretty good going second as well, because you get to tribute a wire monster and then destroy a card on the field. So definitely good for going second as well. Then of course these cards are always strong going second. So and I think that wraps up our spells and traps for engine wise. We are now going to get into our non-engine. It's just hand traps for the most part. We have 3 of Ash, generic strong hand trap. Nib, love to see this card going second. If it does resolve, you usually end up with a board state that you can play into pretty decently with Swordsoul, and then Swordsoul being able to Board Break and OTK is really good, so definitely a decent hand trap. Then one Imperm, one Veiler, just strong monster negates, of course, and then Imperm being able to negate a spell like a Floodgate in its column is good as well. Then one Molcharming Corellia. I was just lucky enough to pull it, so yeah, definitely going straight in the deck, right? It's definitely a pretty powerful hand trap in its own right against certain decks. I will get Full Loss and some Droll eventually, but you know, Neo not always cheap, and this is a tough year, as I said, so it is what it is. And wrapping up our non-engine is Rivalry of the Warlords. Love this card. Forces opponents into grind games that you can usually win because Swordsoul's Tenyi is almost pure Worms, so you can always play under this card, and your opponent's decks aren't always to do that. Certain decks will, but if you're playing an extra engine in your deck, then you're pretty much fucked. Like if you play Fiendsmith and you're playing just Fiendsmith with anything that's not Fiends, so I mean Bestials, if you play Bestials in a deck as well, and then your deck is not dragons, again, this is gonna make you have a very bad time. So absolutely strong piece of non-engine that you can throw into your deck. All right, that's gonna wrap up the deck for the most part. This alone is, I'm pretty sure, 47 cards. And then once we throw in this little engine here, it becomes 55. And this is, of course, the Superheavy Samurai engine. I had plenty of fun with it in Mashable, and so I decided to give it a run in the TCG. And what this does is it adds 1-card combos to your deck, and then it also allows you to play around Nib, and you really need that because I learned that everybody's gonna side in Nib games 2 and 3 against this deck. So yeah, you need to cover your deck's weaknesses, and this helps do that a lot. Like I said, you get 1-card combos. You get your main starter, of course, is the 3 of Wakushi, and then your other starter is Motorbike, and all this card does is search as Wakushi. And it's pretty simple. Wakushi put in your Pendulum Zone, then you can put Benkei in your other Pendulum Zone, special summon the Wakushi, and then Benkei gets to search your last card, which is Soul Horns. This equips itself to Wakushi, special summons itself from the Spell Trap Zone, and you get to make a Synchro 5, and of course, our Synchro 5 is Denlong, so plenty of fun off of that. But yeah, I'll definitely show you some combos of how that can work in the deck. There is, of course, a full combo in case you don't draw any other engine, but of course, if you do draw more engine, you just get to go normal summon. You save your normal summon and play that way, and then just use this to go into Chow Fang. So really good, really good. But moving on, we get to go into our extra deck now. First things first, we have our tokens. Actually, get that out of the way. First up, we have our Nib token, I believe, temporary Nib token. I'm gonna definitely replace this eventually. But then after that, we have our 3 of Mirror tokens. Just, of course, we are playing Mirror, so always a fun time with those whenever we get to play them. And then our 3 of Swordsoul tokens, because we are a Swordsoul deck, so love to play these as well. These are sexy as hell. And now getting into our extra deck, actually, for real this time. First up is 2 of Monk. You pretty much need this card for your Tenyi engine to work, and that is it. You really don't need a 3rd copy, because if you're going into a 3rd copy, you're already in a losing duel, so you never really need to see a 3rd copy. And after that is Shaman. Discard a card and reborn a Worm, which is pretty much why most decks don't have to play Summit, but you don't want to force yourself to have to go into this card, because it does lock you out of extra deck monster effects, except for your Tenyi monsters, so it is a bit of a restriction on you as well. But other than that, you do get to go to battle with a non-effect monster and destroy any card on the field. Not any card, but one of your opponent's cards. So it is good for removal as well. And it's why I feel like you don't really need to play Shtana, because you just, I mean, sure, Shtana by itself does what this card does, but it's, you can also just make this a 2 arms, just one of those arms being Monk, discard a card, bring back the Monk, and then pop something. But to each their own. And then for our last Link monster, we have Swordsoul. Really just summon this off of your Saruya. And what this card does, it just protects your board. It says if you control a non-effect monster, your opponent cannot target your effect monsters with card effects. So it's going to help you in first. It's going to help you play around hand trap like Valor and Imperm if you make this early. And then if you're going second, you just get to use this other effect, which says you get to target one of your opponent's monsters, then summon a token that has equals to that monster's original attack. So if it has boosted attack, it's not going to be equal in that scenario, but if it's just its original attack, you get to copy it, and then you can of course go into battle phase and crash with that token as well, or just beat over something. It's your choice, whatever the scenario requires. But yeah, no, this card's definitely pretty fun. Now getting into our synchros. First up is of course Denlong the boy. What can we say about this card? This crazy extension. On summon searches, then it can foolish any one from your deck to the graveyard, and then of course it low modulates. So that's 2 pieces of extension, and then once it leaves the board, you get to summon a Yang Zing from deck, and that is a 3rd piece of extension. So yeah, really broken card for your combos. And following that up is another Yang Zing Yazi. This is a level 7 synchro monster, so you're mostly gonna make this with Taya, and you banish one of your Swordsoul spells. And then you can also make this with Adara and Longwon. It's going to be your other way of going into this card. And what this card does is it's non-targetable. So if you think your opponent has an Imperm or something, you go into this card and pop it in the back row. But yeah, this card on the field gets to destroy itself. Well, not itself, but a Yang Zing monster that you control. Usually it's just itself and a card your opponent controls. And then if it is destroyed by card effect and sent to the graveyard, you get to special summon any worm from your deck that's special summonable. So yeah, really good for extension and removal. And speaking of those 2, another strong piece of extension and removal is the best card in the extra deck, Boxia. So you have a level 8 synchro for your Yang Zings, and what this card does is up to the attributes of worms used for synchro summon, you get to bounce cards on the field back to the deck. So usually you get to bounce 2 cards, and then you get to pop a card that you control and bring back a level 4 or lower monster from your graveyard. So it's going to help you get more bodies on your field as well. So really good for just removal and making plays. It's even easy to go into 2 of these sometimes. So yeah, really lovely card. And after that is Chi Zhao. This is the card you pretty much want to make every single turn. This searches your Swordsoul cards. So you either get to search blackouts for, building your inboard up more, or you search emergence for Longwon to extend your plays. Emergence, of course, searching any worm, and Longwon helping you get into your level 10s. And then, of course, you can also banish a blackout from hand or deck. So you get to help. It also helps you make your Swordsoul tokens. So this card pretty much just does it all. And then on top of all of that, it comes with a monster negate as well. So yeah, really good card. Like I said, you're gonna want to try to make that almost every turn. And following that up is Draco Berserker. Probably the most cuttable card in the extra deck right now, but yeah, it's just another level 8 worm sinker that you can go into. Comes with a banish as well if your opponent activates a monster effect. But what it really does is it helps you OTK and beat over big bodies. During the battle phase, you attack into something, it gains that monster's original attack, and then it can make a second attack on a monster during that battle phase. So, really, really good card. Grows really quickly and just beats over stuff. And then following that up is our new Tenyi Synchro Mula Adara. This card on summon searches any field spell, so I'm sure this card will never be broken in the future. Definitely 100% future proof. All you have to do is have 2 arms in your graveyard. So, yeah, definitely gonna love this card. But yeah, right now it just searches Team Infinity, and that's all it needs to do because Team Infinity searches Vessel or Circle, and that's broken by itself. So, yeah, that's all that's really important. And then it does have other effects, but they're not that important, so I'm not gonna go over them. Yeah, this pretty much almost never stays on your end board. So unless you're going second, it doesn't matter too much. But next up is our level 9 Synchro Chao Fang. And what this guy does is it's another floodgate on legs. It says at whatever Yang Zing's attributes were used for its summon, your opponent cannot activate monster effects with those attributes. So generally speaking, my bad, you just go, you make this with a light Yang Zing, so either Boxia or Denlong, and then that'll help protect you from Nib, but it also shuts down certain decks as well. It hurts Branded, it hurts Voiceless Voice, hurts Dogmatica, it hurts Purely, and there's another one, Fiendsmith. Fiendsmith is the one that this hurts the most. But yeah, other than that, you can make this with Dark as well, and you can make this with Fire as well. Like I said, we play the Jiao2 and Swanee in the deck, so lots of plays you can make with this. And then following that up are 2 level 10 synchros to wrap up our extra deck. Qin Ying, you know, it's the boy, Big Chungus. Like I said, non-targeting banish, so really need this card sometimes. And of course, more banish cards, it grows bigger, and your opponent's monsters become smaller. So helpful for OTKs as well. And then of course, Kijing Longwan, the card that you want to, the level team you want to go into going first. And what this card does is your opponent special summons a monster, banish it, deal 1200. If they activate a spell trap, banish it, deal 1200. So it's going to help you just bring your opponent's life points down and make OTKing easier. And then it's good for games that go to time. And last but not least, if you synchro summon a worm while you control this card, you get to draw a card. So like Mugi, it's just gonna help you dig into resources. But either way, really, really good card. That'll be all for the deck profile. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. And of course, you know, let me know any changes you guys would make, anything you guys are running yourselves. Of course, this is all experimental, but if you're not experimenting, are you having fun with Yu-Gi-Oh? Let's be honest. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video, which is gonna cover some new combos that we have found with the new cards.